Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your main man, RICO ROXX, host of the Social Suicide Podcast here, coming at you live today with another riveting episode of Social Suicide. This is going to be episode 52. I'm joined by the illustrious Spicolli and Muupk. And what a talk it was. It was very lighthearted, very humorous, then turned deep as me and Muupk get into it. We talk all about conspiracy. We get into Illuminati kind of conspiracies, and then we start talking about actual philosophies and life practices and methodologies, and it's quite profound. Enjoy. And thank you for checking out RICO ROXX's show, Social Suicide. And I'm RICO ROXX, RICO ROXX. Check me out on Spotify, SoundCloud. Podbean.com is where this was recorded. If you're interested, email me at RICOROXX221@gmail.com. That is RICO, ROXX221@gmail.com if you want to get on the show or have any questions for your main man. I'm a young mystic. And without further ado, folks, enjoy episode 52.
All about that. That's the original one.
Yeah, that's the one I always think about.
I forgot about that. Damn. Yeah, that is him from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I have it.
I only know that one and this one. You had a bunch in between?
I had a bunch of them. The movie we paused it on the TV screen and took a picture of it off the TV screen. My wife did all this for me. And
yeah, that's why I asked you, was that other one on the TV? So the answer is yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. I forgot all about that fucking thing.
That's the OG Spicolli, huh?
Yes, I need to go back to that one.
That's the OG original Spicolli.
I forgot all about that one.
I can't believe you forgot about that. How dare you?
Yeah, that's the original. I mean, that is Jeff Spicolli.
That is the reason your name is Spicolli.
Yes, exactly.
Is that? I never knew that. Thank you for sharing that. I just thought it was a random white dude.
Fuck no, man! It's from a movie. You've never.
Right now, I understand. You just made it very clear that that actor is the guy named Spicolli. But before, I just thought that was a random.
That's Sean Penn.
Oh, that's Sean Penn.
Yes.
As a young Sean Penn.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah, I could definitely tell. That's why I was like, I even recalled it. I was like, whatever happened to that motherfucker? Because when you were like, it was the side of my hoodie, I was like, are you sure? You sure it wasn't a white dude? White dude. I've only changed my profile picture a few times, but I think I'm gonna change it again.
I don't know how to fucking. I don't know what part it is. I'll get fucked up on something. I don't know. This is fine.
What, Muupk? Good old Muupk.
Miller time.
Isn't that a fun name to say? Muupk.
Fuck.
Muupk. Some guy named Muupk.
Muupk. Yeah.
Muupk. It's almost like you're doing
sounds like
like a shit.
I don't know.
Sounds like you're wanking off, Muupk. Muupk's like, I'm out of here. I will not tolerate this. Muupk. What a muck kind of guy.
Tangles.
Muupk. PK.
Y'all are welcome to call in, man. Call in,
Nick.
Just call in.
Don't be afraid, Muupk. You're already a Muupk. Might as well.
All you have to do is hit the little microphone at the bottom right of your TV of your phone.
Dang, Spicolli, I never even thought that they didn't know how to do that. You're actually telling what to do just in case they happen to not know. That's pretty.
The other day, somebody didn't know.
For anybody who doesn't know how to call in, you just hit the little call-in circle that says call in. Okay. And there's a little microphone too on the side somewhere.
Not much, Muck. We're just sitting here bullshitting, man.
Yeah, Muck. We're talking about old profile pictures that got away.
Yeah.
It's windy as hell where I'm at, bro. It's just the wind chimes are just crashing like a motherfucker.
They said it's supposed to get real fucking breezy.
Dude, it's breezy as a bitch.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like 30-mile-an-hour winds.
Dude, it's fucking blowing, bro. It is blowing like cats and dogs.
Oh, yeah, you're in New Mexico. Yeah, it's going to be, they said either Monday or Tuesday. They're not sure. It depends on how fast it keeps
What up, Muupk? Welcome back, Muupk. How are you doing today, Muupk? Colin Muupk.
Call in, man.
Colin Muupk.
Call in, brother.
Hello, folks. The next person we have on has the biggest dick this side of Mississippi. Welcome, Muupk.
Yeah, we got Muupk.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, brother? How you doing today, man?
What y'all talking about?
A round of applause. Welcome, Muupk. Woo! Big Muupk in the building, bro. Big Muupk in the building, baby. Muupk, let me take a look at your profile here. Let's see
We're
what
talking about the old ass. I don't know what are they called? Your pictures that you got on profile.
Muupk, looking at your profile picture, it's hard to read you.
Like
it's hard to tell.
We've had so many of them. I need to.
I know I've had 3. I think Spicolli's had 3, and this is my 3rd one. But I'm going for my 4th, just like Brett Favre. Well, Muupk, thank you for calling in. I'm sure you're very busy, but thank you for popping on up.
What's going on in your world today? How's your day going, bro?
Muupk is very mysterious.
Mysterious.
He's a fucking elusive. But he's a G. He's a good sport.
I couldn't hear you with my microphone on.
Hey, Muupk. Welcome. What you up to today?
Not much. The name ain't Muupk. That's just an acronym, and I just turned the acronym into a name.
Oh, I see. Oh, way to take all the magic.
That's cool.
No, still, it's very fun to say, you must admit.
Yeah, but you know what? I appreciate that y'all appreciate the name.
No, I do. Yeah. Like, your name makes me smile, Muupk.
Because last time I was on air, y'all was just going ham on the name.
I know I was. Oh yeah, man, I'm consistent. When I see something I like it.
Because you was like, yo, that's fucked up. Yo,
it's Muupk fucked up. Yeah, dude, because that's just a PK sound. That PK sound is very.
Shit, that motherfucker will do. He's got a good memory of shit like that.
Well, listen, Muupk. What is the acronym for?
Oh, the acronym. I don't really put it out there. That's why I just turned it into a name.
I didn't know if it was a business or if it was something that you represent, but if it's just your own personal acronym, then.
Yeah, it's kind of just it's personal, but it makes sense because I fly in under the radar.
No, of course, yes. I'm a little more above the radar, but I'm still pretty under the radar, as it were, for what I really am. So I feel
under the radar is good. Under the radar is good.
For example, my name is not Rico. My real name is not Rico. I'm definitely using a nickname. So it's like I'm definitely.
And it definitely wouldn't be Rico ROXX. That sounds like a drug dealer. So
Exactly. But even some people even confuse it as Rico as a real name.
Hold on. Muupk. What's Rico ROXX sound like?
Sound like a drug dealer. I mean, because he Rico ROXX. He Rico with the rock.
I might be not. I plead the fifth on this one. I plead the fourth.
This motherfucker's funny.
But you know what? It's just like Jamie Foxx. That's not his real name. His real name is Eric Bishop. But
really?
He used that name so that he could get on stage, because when he first started, he found out that they was calling women to come to the stage more than men. So since he wanted to get on, he used a name that sounded like a female name.
That's incredible. And that's smart. Honestly, and to have some anonymity is amazing. It's nice to be able to come represent something and then go home at the end of the night.
But did you know that the majority of Hollywood and the entertainers never use their real name. They never do. LL Cool J,
Really?
that's not his real name.
Well, yeah, definitely
You
LL
know,
Cool J.
Busta Rhymes ain't a real. But
Well,
those
those are
are the
obvious.
names.
Those are obvious.
Well, okay, let's get more.
Busta Rhymes, like okay.
Because Buster Mathis that fought Mike Tyson, his name was actually Buster, spelled just like Busta Rhymes.
Well, I'm not saying Buster, but the Rhymes is a little more suspicious. Who's named Rhymes? Who's his last name?
Well, Bing Rames is real close.
It's pretty close. But I think you were reaching a bit with the Busta Rhymes one. Let's think of another example of a name that's close to real. Is not the real name.
All right.
Maybe.
Huh?
Is y'all's headphones echoing?
That's Muupk.
Oh.
Is that me?
Okay, I just wanted to know where. All right.
Because I don't see the light flashing.
You just gotta lower probably the output volume here.
Oh, that's probably what I got to do. I got to lower the volume.
Just lower just a few notches. You don't have to lower it too much. Just enough to. But yeah, no. So I'm thinking one, like for example, Queen Latifah. Definitely not Queen. Her last name ain't even Latifah. It has nothing to do with her name.
But you know what? A lot of people.
Did you know that?
Themselves. What, Queen Latifah?
Yeah, that has nothing to do, like her name, like some other random name, like Susan something.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? Barack Obama, his name is Barry Soweto. That's not his name, Barack Obama. His name is actually Barry Soweto.
Well, that's crazy as a motherfucker, dog.
Barry Soweto?
Why would they call him a Barack
Or
Obama?
Soweto. It's either Soweto or Soweto.
How you spell it? You know how to spell it?
Do you have his name legally changed?
It's S-O. If it's Soweto, it's S-O-W-E-T-O. Or if it's Soweto, it's S-O-R-R-O. Oh, S-O-R-R-T-O, I think it is. Barry Soweto. No, O-T-O.
That's insane.
S-O-R-R-O-T-O.
Like Prince's name was not Prince.
Barry.
Oh, no, hell no.
It was a symbol.
Just say the name at one time again.
Barry Soweto. Ask Google. Say Barry Soweto.
Soweto. Barry Soweto. Check this out.
Man, we're hashing it out now, folks. But yeah, I love having a nickname for sure. It's kind of crazy that a lot of people do use their real name, like Jordan Peterson podcast and Lex Friedman podcast stuff. These kind of people, a lot of people just use their name. It's like, damn.
Barack Obama, it's a scriptural name. It came from the Bible. He used two words in the Bible to put a name together. Mm. One scripture, but two words.
That's interesting. Just as a stage name, just to have some anonymity.
But you know what it is though, right?
Mm-mm.
People like to hide behind the persona of who they are.
In generally speaking,
they be wanting privacy,
right? Especially in the more very controversial roles, I would say it's more likely they want to.
And especially with social media being the way it is.
Mm-hmm. I don't hide my name at all, but I definitely like that it's not my front page cover letter.
Social media's fucked a lot of shit up. But go ahead on with your story, man.
Spicolli.
Yes, sir.
Is that your real name?
No.
No.
What's your real name? John?
I don't have one.
I'm only
I
messing
have
with
this condition where I forget shit.
All right, let me ask you this. Muupk, Mr. Muck.
What's that?
Now, don't tell me your name, but let me ask you this. Is your name, your real name, your regular name, your born name, is it a name that's very common and boring, or is it something unique and very interesting?
No, it is something unique and
common and
See, I have a very boring name. I have a very cookie cutter. Like millions and millions of people.
Everybody in the world's got this name.
So yeah, that's cool that you have a unique name. So that means that it's like probably not easy to guess it. So you could spitball a few common English names and you'd hit mine. So.
Well, unless your name is Coca-Cola, it can't be but so boring.
Well, I mean, that can actually, I think there's a lot of different names out there depending on people name their kids crazy things. So when I ask you if it's unique, and you say it's unique, I can only imagine. They could name you Stir Fry. Wrong.
But I'm pretty sure you ain't got just a regular, just...
No, I do.
Like
I really do.
Jason Smith.
No, but it's pretty close to that. No, I'm talking about first name specifically. I have a very common first name. It's just very cookie cutter. It's one of the top main names.
Because I know somebody with the last name Catfish. You know,
I know some.
That's real.
Yeah, no. My first name is David.
That's reaching.
Man, I think it was on a TV show. It was some cat. His last name was Catfish. And I said,
Spicolli, you don't know Catfish?
This was over in Louisiana, though.
But yeah, no, it's absolutely fascinating for sure. Like that football player, what is it, Clinton Dix?
Clinton Dix. Yeah.
It's such a funny name, Clit and Dix. It's so funny.
No, but the is really a nickname.
Yeah, oh, really? But still, no, it just looks funny in the eye when you just read it out loud.
I know.
Yeah. The first time I read it, I was like, wait a second. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Like clit and dicks. Like clit and dicks. It's like a woman's clit and dicks.
You know what you call him, Chad Johnson? Chad Johnson really changed his name to Ocho Cinco.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
Legally.
Yeah, legally.
Ocho and then Cinco.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny.
Football players are crazy. You know, what you call him? Metta World Peace. He changed his name to that. That wasn't his name.
Football's a crazy sport.
They're paying
you know what Metta World Peace is, right?
When they're paying you that kind of money, what you want?
Yeah, you can't when you got a whole bunch of money like that.
The minimum is 300-something thousand.
What, to change your name? If you poor, it's only $100. You can go down to Social Security and change your name.
It's just interesting though, these personas, like the connection there. Like, can you turn it off, or can some people not turn it off?
You gotta have the same card.
That's not her real name. That's not her real name, Tina Turner. It's not her real name.
Oh, that's a tough one. See, that one's a good one. See, that's a good example.
I bet her Social Security.
Oprah Winfrey? Don't tell me Oprah Winfrey's not Oprah Winfrey.
No, she's probably really Oprah Winfrey because she got a fat Oprah head. If people look
at Oprah and the Winfrey ass.
If people look at their name,
that's Winfrey booty, man.
Oh man,
she got a big old Oprah head and a Winfrey snatch.
Oh, you big motherfucker, boy!
If people look at that,
good God,
because you know her head is so fat that even when she got small, she still had a fat head.
Yes. Like, big old bowling ball head right there.
Yes. You know who else got that fat head? Monique.
Who? That's fucked up.
The comedian.
That's funny.
The comedian Monique.
It's a black girl.
Well, yeah, I know you're talking about now. I couldn't hear you, man. My shit. So.
Oh, man. That's funny.
They got some fat heads, man. If your name is Fathead McFred, then, sorry for your luck. They got some big heads.
Perfect timing, Rico.
Oh, yeah, no, that's the big old Monique head. More like Titanic head.
I just couldn't hear you.
Spicolli,
like Mohead instead of Monique, Mohead.
Yeah, more head than body.
More head than body.
Well,
That's fantastic.
move to Cooper. Fuck, I can't remember what we call it. What did you say?
She said, "More head than body, folks."
Who got ghosts in the background?
No, I put that as an effect.
Oh, I thought I heard some ghosts. I was going to say somebody shit haunted.
Yeah, no, there's a little sound effect button. Just how that I could do the crow.
Okay.
Whoa. There's a few of them.
Oh, you just having podcast fun.
Oh, wait, I'm just showing you. Yeah, we have the countdown.
10, 9.
But then I can interrupt it. And then if I'm ever in the middle of a long, loud sound effect, I just throw that ghost one because it quiets it down. Because instead of a loud one, like
10,
I just shut it off instantly with that sound effect.
Well, let me ask y'all a serious question on a serious note. Have you guys heard of the killer robot in China that killed 29 people?
No, I haven't.
You know how they got that AI, that artificial intelligence?
Mm-hmm.
One of them went rogue in China and killed 29 people.
Really?
Yeah.
When was it? Recently or a long time ago?
That was recently. And guess who? And guess who on the forefront of talking against it? But they also putting money into it. Elon Musk.
I was gonna say that name.
Well, there's a few companies, like there's this one called Boston Robotics, I think it is. You guys ever in that? It's like a main one.
Well, that's a true story.
Yeah. Robot.
I
AI.
didn't know if he was gonna tell a joke or not. So
No.
he was on it. Damn, are you serious? They made that out of AI.
Yeah, what they're doing is that. Have you guys heard of the metaverse?
Oh yeah.
They're trying to link people and technology together. What they really want to do, they're desiring to make robots out of us. Because
like the Matrix,
you know,
the movie The Matrix.
Huh?
Have you ever seen the movie The Matrix, where the humans are just like in little tubes, and then the robots are running the world?
Yeah, they're in a simulation.
Well, yeah, the humans are in a simulation, but then on the real outside world, the robots took over.
The robot, that's who the agents are. The agents were the robots.
The robots.
That's who the agents. Yes, the agents.
Exactly, but in the real world, they're robot based, not simulation based. Like the simulation is made through the machines.
What
like
they've done is the robots have actually recreated us, and we're living in the world that they created.
Yeah, but
remember
then are they
when,
using us as an energy source?
Yes, remember, like a battery. Remember, Morpheus was telling Neo that. He said we have been reduced to batteries.
Do you think we are effective batteries?
We've been reduced to batteries. That's
it could be like all the city highways and all the power grid. We could be fueling this battery.
Well, understand this: if you touch two plugs together, right, that's broke off. Just say, for instance, you have two cords. You plug them both into the wall. Do you know that if you connect them the same way the energy will run through both of them, it'll run through you, and that's why I fry you. You're not more than
so we're definitely conductors.
Yes, they're definitely conductors. That's why.
So you're saying we're one super battery as cities. I think that makes sense. There's some theories that big cities are giant batteries, like all the energy from the cars and all this and that. It's like powering some, who knows, maybe like a giant spaceship or something.
Understand this. Every time there is a major chaotic event, right before that event or during that event, it's always a crowded place. Like, do y'all remember in Boston, Massachusetts, when the killer ran through the street and was killing people during the parade? Do y'all remember that?
Yeah, the Boston Marathon?
Yes. They always use
large
crowds of people to channel the energy to create chaos.
Well, yeah, it takes one guy to really set it off, really. It doesn't take much to set off a calm.
But you know what they do?
It's like fire in a fucking gasoline match. It takes one match to light the whole city.
Really, it's satanic. It's satanic energy. What they do is they use...
So what are they trying to do? They're trying to just do that to worship Satan? Like to say, oh, look at the chaos we created in your name?
No.
Or is it for powers? Is it for money? Is it for
favorism
in the afterlife?
they open demonic portals. Like, can you
So then
imagine?
they travel dimensions and shit in galaxies?
Yes, yes. Have you ever
Wormholes
heard of
jumping and shit
immortal
like
people?
Stargates?
Yes. Have you ever heard of immortal people? People that just been living forever,
Well,
like
yeah,
Saint
yes,
Germain.
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
All right, what they do is they don't live forever. They get stuck in dimensions, and in order for them to get out, they channel the people
So they just
to
jump from
generate
body to
the energy.
body?
No, they don't jump from body to body. They stay young. They just open portals for them to
So, but
walk
then
through.
whenever they come back into this original dimension, then they just start aging again instantly?
No, they don't ever age.
But
They don't ever.
but then they have to just go to a different realm then? Or is that what
Now,
you're saying?
what they do is their rules are outside of ours. It's just like in
You know,
the
I
Matrix.
understand the concept, but I'm just was trying to pull it out of you, like the description of what the mechanism of it is. Because I do really, you're talking right up my alley, brother. Like I fucking deep into this kind of shit as well.
They don't play by our rules. You know how we
I
age?
feel. Hell
They
yeah,
don't
bro.
age like we do.
Yeah, no, I
They
have a
don't.
few theories on this because I've always looked at aging, and I'm a philosopher and kind of pick apart kind of stuff. And I've looked
Mhm.
at aging and what makes humans age versus what would these entities do. And I think there's a few mechanisms in which would cause not aging. One could be the jumping portal thing, like you said, but I think there's also one other thing where it's like you mentioned. It's not that they can never die, but they cannot. They could stop aging. I believe they
Yeah.
can stop growing old, but this doesn't mean they are unkillable. You could still cut open their
No,
neck, and if
no.
they bleed out, they die. But they don't
Just
age.
because you immortal, don't mean that you don't die.
Right,
It
exactly. You're
just
not impenetrable. You're just not decaying. You're not aging. I
it
understand.
just means that your body don't go through the normal
You
rigmarole
stop
that
the aging.
everybody else
Yeah,
does.
you're either. There's a few ways you can do that. It's either A, reversing it. You could either just, like you said, stop it magically, or one of the ways I really study and that I actually stay youthful myself as a kind of guy like this is through regeneration. Like, so let's say you start your body's aging. If you can heal
Uh-huh.
your body quicker than it degenerates, if you can regenerate quicker than you degenerate, you can stay in that state that's
Yeah, you can say,
youthful.
you know what you could do? You know, aging come with an enzyme that's in the human body. What they can
And
do is
regeneration can be enhanced.
they
We
can
just use our
remove
surface
the
level
aging enzyme.
regeneration. Well, it could be, yeah, and it's all these are mechanisms of it, but it's interesting that humans, I think, have been conditioned to decay, and then they see their family decaying, and they see everyone around them dying, and then they don't even question the process. They don't even say, "Oh, is this something that we have to do?" Or no, everyone just assumes it. But then if you
They
look a
just
little deeper and say, "What if?"
you know why? Because we're like sheep. We don't question
Well,
nothing.
yeah,
We
and
don't
generally
question
speaking,
our
yes.
religion. We
Not
don't
Rico Rocks.
question
I'm a
nothing.
theorist, but I definitely have thought a bunch of this through, brother. It's interesting to hear someone actually talk about this because I'm right there with you on the conceptual aspect of that, like that the mass brainwash rituals, the satanic, and all the strings that play in between, and all the indoctrination and all the. Not to say that I don't want to hear you speak, but just to let you know that it's not like you're just like completely opening this up for me for the first time, but it's definitely refreshing to hear it from some outside source.
Thank you. Thank you. What you think, Spicolli?
Damn, it's not that uh
That deep?
no. It's deep. Trust me, it's deep.
No, I swear I was just.
It's all fucked up, but it's fucked up all over the fucking world. I think that there is a world little fucking club with all these rich Illuminati, whatever you want to call it. Those motherfuckers kind of
Well,
pull
this is the thing.
and they're
Yeah.
puppets.
Yeah, the thing about it is, though, this concept of being able to free yourself within this herd. For example, what if the world is a sheep farm? And does that mean that that is your destiny, that no matter what, since you were born in that role of a sheep, that there is no other choice than but for you to completely face your fate? Or is there a way to separate yourself from the herd within the societal sheep? Can you separate yourself and then
Get the fuck out. Go where you want to
exactly
go.
chicken run? Exactly. So that's the beauty
That's
of it. I
how
think
it
even if
was.
there's a game and they're
Get the
getting
fuck.
controlled, at least we could have our part. We could take control in the way we can.
You know what we could do?
You could hitchhike, man.
You could stay. You
Catch
could
a ride
fucking
to
sell
fucking
drugs.
wherever you wanted to go.
we can stop listening to the everyday dogma and rhetoric that we hear that forces us.
Well, we
No,
do.
I've seen.
But will everyone else do it? That's the question.
But you know what?
Will.
Only a few people will escape.
Make your point.
That's what I'm saying. It's an escape, but it's definitely, that's a beautiful term to use, escape. I think that it wouldn't be cool. Wouldn't it be cool to have the power to escape, like go into the fence, go into the sheep road, and then but still know where the escape hatch is and run out? That's what
the Matrix did. That's what the characters on.
Exactly. That's how I kind of feel, because I haven't escaped and left society because I'm still here. I'm talking to public, but I have my freaking rope tethered to the exit. So
I believe that we can get out, but you don't want to get out because you'll lose too many memories here.
You mean you can definitely get out if you need to. When the time is right, the time is right. But until then, you stay, if you gather and finish your little, whatever, your final affairs. But eventually there is going to be a time, place where that decision is going to be made, I feel.
Because you're going to have to fight if you stay. That's why in the Matrix, they learn how to fight the agents.
Exactly. So no, if you leave, you're going to have to fight too, but it's going to be a different fight. I don't know what the fight's going to look like. It's going to be different, though. Instead of fighting the agents, you're going to be fighting the robots.
Exactly.
I'm ready to do that, because what if the robots are friendly?
How you say? How do we say our new buddy's name?
Muupk.
Yeah,
Muupk. Oh, that's what I needed to know. Never mind. That's it. All right, thanks. Muupk.
Dang, Muupk comes speaking some truth tonight, baby. It doesn't fall on deaf ears, my friend, but it's one of those things, brother. It's actually quite fascinating, because it doesn't even have to be that grim. It can be a bit of a training process, a bit of a good challenge, and so once you say, okay, make a decision, I want to be a free thinker, or not conform, or not a mental slave, then what comes next is what comes with that, the training, the preparations, just the whole follow through of it all, and it's a journey, brother, and it leads to some amazing existence. So good on you.
Have you guys ever astroplaned?
Astroplaned on a car, or astral projected?
No, astral projected. Because if you astroplane, that means you go to other realms. Do you know that your soul can leave your body in like a sleep state, and it could travel to other dimensions and talk to people in other worlds?
See, that's a little more. That's like I'm more of an expert on the whole thing we just were talking about, the escaping society slave traps. But now, as far as souls and realms and dreams, I'm a little versed, but that's not my expertise.
I mean, in like movies I've seen, shit like that.
I feel like I have done it a couple of times, but I don't know if I really did it, or if I was just my imagination.
Real. There's shit that's in my mind, all that fucking crazy shit.
Yeah, no, it's
and you be wondering where it came from.
Mine are usually of work, though, man. Work.
I've had some crazy dreams in my life.
Mine were
like amazing, nice dreams.
Work.
But long as you don't leave your body and get fat women. Because, see, a lot of people will astroplane and be sneaking in the big bras houses. Don't do stuff like that.
Why would they do that? To jump in the body of the big girl, or to just take a peek?
Nah, they be trying to dump up in her gut.
Hey, say again, Rico.
Big girl, big booty bitches, woo! Yeah, ladies get free in the club on Sundays. Come on now.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Spicolli, you bad for saying that.
What do you say?
What?
He said that they be going over big girls' houses. Nah, he ain't said that.
How dare you, Spicolli?
Well, that was when it was, ass pickings, shit.
I mean, heck yeah, dude. We've all been there. We've all drinking a little too much whiskey.
Let me ask you: have you ever had a big girl Rico?
Oh yes. That's what I was. Dude, I have, man.
I do not like little skinny ass motherfuckers.
Dude, I've had a couple big ones.
I had one big one about 400.
I had one about 350.
I didn't have one that big. No.
I had a big girl, dude. I was drunk as hell. And I
made
her
ride
ride
me.
me.
I was drunk, man. She had some good cooch cat.
No, she had a good cooch too. The girl I fucked too, she had a good cooch, but still, she a big girl. And I made her ride me, even though she was super huge. I said, no, I ain't gonna make this easy for you. You gotta fucking work for this. But then I ended up regretting it.
Some ass cheeks wouldn't let your hammer get up.
No, bro, and this fucked up because she was pouncing on my core. She was pouncing up and down, and next thing you know, when I went to stand up after, I couldn't even stand up. Like my whole abdomen.
Your sides was hurting, right?
My whole core, like my abs and everything, were all just crushed from her just pouncing on it. My whole, she fucked my shit up. I had to go to the toilet to throw the condom off, crouched, like walking, like hunched over.
Wow.
Did
she make you something to eat at least? I mean, damn.
Dude, it was just because I told her to pounce on it because I was numb from the alcohol, and then I didn't realize that my muscles were being ripped apart.
Damn. Wow. That's called social engineering.
Plop, 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 plop. Big girl.
Now, but sometimes big girls is good. Like in the wintertime, they keep you warm.
Oh, yeah.
Like you with a little skinny chick, you cold as fuck.
Yeah, dude. Well, a big chick is like a moped. They're fun to ride, but you don't want your friends to see you on one.
Oh, nah, because they'd be looking at the car and all they'll see is her fat head. They'd be like, why you got a poster in your car?
Yeah, dude. They say fat girls deserve love, too. Yeah. But they got to pay.
Yeah, they got to pay. And if you got a big girl, she don't come by men real easy. So she'll take care. You could be a bum. And she'll feed you, put clothes on your back and everything.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. But you got to give her a sponge bath.
Oh, and you got to hit it real good. You got to hit it while she's eating a piece of chicken. Like if she...
And the ice cream. She had a bag of cookies, dog. She's fucking... a bag of fucking Oreos. So she was munching.
Did you find it?
She's munching while you munching.
Mm-hmm. She'll be munching while you crunching. She'll be crunching. Because you got to crunch away. The big girl, you can't play.
And some big girls are big, and then some are just shaped weird. Like, there's some girls that are, like, they look bigger, but
I don't fuck with them. Big. I don't fuck with them big shapewear girls, because their whole ass might be a back. Like, it just looks like it's just a back with no ass. Like, I can't.
But their pussies are usually really nice. The way their front is shaped, it's usually like it curved, like it's like goes into a really nice.
And then when you turn them around,
then you turn them around, and it's like a wall.
Yeah, I can't fuck with them. I gotta. If I'm fucking with a big chick, she gotta have a big booty.
So it doesn't matter if the pussy's pretty. You rather have a nice ass. I like a pretty pussy.
You know what? Some of these pussies been beat up so heavy, like, cause you know. Listen, cause look, cause you know cats be fucking for their life. Like if you see a broke motherfucker, right?
Oh yeah.
He is gonna pound the woodchucks out that girl. Cause you know why? He's sexing for survival. He's trying to live.
Oh, that would have been out. I didn't mean it would be.
Damn, dog. Yeah, bro. He's fucking her and like knocking the bed halfway across the room, trying
to
because.
He trying to eat, have a place to stay, have a car to drive. He fucking for a reason. He fucking with a purpose.
Dude, he's R. Kelly. He's going to be R. Kelly in that shit.
Yeah. He going to perform like R. Kelly. At least he might even do the Michael Jackson. Because he gotta play it like that to win. Like if you got money and you already got your own house, your own car, your own job, you could just get with a girl and romance her. But if you don't have nothing, you got to get in there for dear life.
You got to last long.
Yeah, you got to do all that shit. You might have to eat it for about 4 or 5 hours just to, because you gotta let her know, look, I need a place to stay. You got to work toward that.
Or you could just go and get your own money, honestly. But
yeah, but most cats, if they was going to do that, they'll already be in that position.
Yeah, if they're in that position, they're already in the funny boat.
Yeah.
If you're eating out bad bitches 5 hours, you're like already in a very interesting point.
Because if you ain't got shit, you just ain't got shit.
Because you could even do like, I've sometimes guys get lucky too and get a girl that's fine and has money. That's always nice.
Oh yeah.
Like that's not like super fine, but like I had a girlfriend once that was pretty ballin' and was pretty chilling, and I was all right, but like she was definitely.
Like I'm cool right now. Like financially, I ain't robbing nobody or nothing like that. But my broad is hot. See, check this out.
You got pics? You got pics? No, I'm saying.
Huh?
I said, you got pictures?
Oh yeah, I got a man. My brother's kind of hot, bro. But the thing about it is, you got to be in the right place at the right time. That is luck. It's you lucky to have a bad bitch.
Well, I've had a bad bitch before, man. It was nice. And not that, but I was a bad dude too. Like, I was a G. But, like, my bitch was bad, bro. White girl.
That you supposed to have, don't you know, as a man, you supposed to have the desires of your heart. The only reason why most men don't have the desires of their heart is because their pockets ain't right.
No, I even had my chick when my pockets wasn't right. But like you said, I was having to fuck for dear life.
That's what I'm saying. Yo,
but she was fine as a bitch, though.
Shit, my pockets were right. I wasn't, man, fuck me being with one chick, man. You go fuck the damn biker chicks and all that.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Because when you got money, you can have your choice. You can have any pick of the litter.
That's why I mentioned.
But if you
better to have your own shit.
Yeah, if you broke, it don't work like that.
Unless you bring something very unique, and then then, but still, like, you have to be a good looking dude and with like a.
Or you have to be a genius. Because women love with
dirty ass clothes from work.
You have to have a skill or something.
Shit, man.
Like, play guitar perfectly, like, be like a fucking something like this.
Or you can sing, or you funny. You got to be something unique about you.
Yeah, something very good. Like, so that's always nice. So that gives a chance to even the guys who aren't naturally as built. Like, if you put an effort and learn something, become an interesting person, you could still get pretty fun bitch.
Exactly.
Man, I am dirty as a motherfucker from work.
You know what? If you got a little bit of money, Spicolli, you could walk down the street shitting and get a bitch. They'd be like, give them some toilet paper. And the next thing you know, you in the house fucking. You know,
toilet paper?
Yo. But you got to have money for that to happen.
Well, luckily, it's like working hard.
I was making it at the time.
See? But if you was broke, Spicolli, walking down the street, sitting there, call the cops on you. They'd be like, it's some indecent exposure going on.
100%. 100%. Like,
hey, man, I've been around. Trust me. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, hell yeah. Heck yeah, you're gonna fucking kick the guy out for loitering just because you could tell he's loitering versus a guy who you know doesn't need to be there. But he just happens to be sitting there for like 2 hours but he's doing something. But you know,
check this out, Rico. If you had a chick that was a millionaire, right?
Yes, sir.
You could hate cleaning. But if she was just walking around eating M&Ms and boxes of Mike and Ike and just throwing the trash on the floor, you would walk behind her and be picking that shit up and throwing it in the trash. You know why?
I don't know how I would, but I see what you're saying. I don't know if I technically would give a girl that validation, but I know what you're saying. Like, most dudes would do that.
Because for real, do you know people could make you? You don't even remember Stedman. Y'all remember Stedman that went with Oprah?
Yeah, but big head Oprah.
Yeah. Now check this out. You know, Oprah's a billionaire. Stedman could have.
You said million. Now you're talking billion. Maybe I'll do it for a billion.
I said she's a billionaire.
Yeah, but remember before you said, imagine if my girlfriend was a millionaire, then I probably still wouldn't do it. But for a billionaire, I probably would.
No, for a millionaire, if my girl had 140 million.
I'd rather fucking just make my own million. But a billion, all right, come on.
You know, I'm going to tell Rico, do you know how hard it is to make 100 million?
Well, do you know how easy it is in theory as well? It depends on the person, really. Some people do it easily. Some people, in general, the rate is very. There's more people that aren't, but it's technically the ones that did it. Did they technically work hard? I don't know that.
It's hard work.
Oh, is it?
It's hard. Do you know Denzel Washington?
You get into shit that you never even heard of.
I don't have money, but I'm just saying in theory, I feel like it shouldn't be the most difficult.
You will have to sell your soul to be a regular person and get 140 million. You will have to.
You said 140,000.
You about damn right.
Yeah, not 140,000. I'm talking about 140 million.
Yeah,
to get 100, you will have to sell your soul to get that,
or invent something very good.
It's fucking wine, but
like invent a Post-it note or something.
Like you know what you will have to do to be normal and get $140 million. You would have to do something like have balls that disconnect, and you could just throw them at a dartboard and they stick, and you just go and get them. It looks like he throwing his balls. They'll pay you $140 million to make a movie.
Right?
They ain't gonna pay you
a pill that make your dick instantly hard and long. Fucking.
Yeah, now, if you created that, you will get $140 million.
Instant 9 inches, instant fucking 10 out of 10 on the hard.
You will get $1 billion. If you could make a pill like that, you will get $1 billion.
Just takes a 1 incher and turns it into an Audi.
Yeah. Do you know everybody have a bad bitch? You heard what happened to Kanye West, right?
No.
All right, let me tell you all the story. Can I tell you? We got a minute.
Yeah, we have 20 minutes or something.
All right, let me tell you a story, Kanye
Run
West.
it, baby.
All right, Kanye West. Y'all ever heard of cuckolding?
Yes.
All right, cuckolding is when you go out and get a dude with a bigger dick than you to fuck your girl and you watch. Yep. All right, check this out. He was doing that with Pete Davidson. What? And Kim Kardashian fell in love with Pete Davidson.
That's hilarious.
Guess how they knew that Kanye West was doing that? You ever heard of Charlemagne the God from the Breakfast Club? Yeah, he went to Charlemagne the God and asked him to help him break Pete Davidson and his wife up. Because he said, he's screwing my wife with a 10-inch dick. How would you know his dick was 10 inches unless you saw it?
Yeah, it's tough to compete against that. Even as an average guy myself, I'm creeping on
even
10,
if
but
you're
I'm
a billionaire. If you a billionaire, if a dude with a 10-inch weenie hits your girl, he taking it.
Hey, man, my phone is about dead, man. I'm going to have to get out of here, bro. I will holler at y'all another time.
All right, Spicolli. But don't let Kanye West take your girl. All right?
I ain't, man.
Thank you, Spicolli.
I got a good type. I don't give a fuck. I know his ass is locked up. No, he ain't locked up. I'm thinking of that other dude.
You talking about R. Kelly?
Yeah, I was thinking of R.
I love R. Kelly personally.
You can't love R. Kelly if he's doing it to kids.
This motherfucker's gonna go.
Man, no, but I think he's I love his music. I think he's a talented guy.
Yeah, he is, but he can't be messing with kids though.
I'm a big fan. R. Kelly, like, I separate his music from his personal life, but his music, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, you can do that, but never.
Because I don't know everything. Sometimes people get set up. I don't know. Sometimes it's.
I know, and I ain't going to hold him against. I'm not going to say, because think about this: every charge you ever had against you, and every charge I ever had against me, are all allegations, because none of us was there to see if it's true.
Exactly. He could be a man in R. Kelly mask.
Exactly. So he could have been set up because the Illuminati got ways to get you.
Yeah, when they don't have probably had all kinds of fucking patents and music fucking rights and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, and they wanted it because
exactly. Just like Michael Jackson, he owned like 20% of Sony or something like this before he died.
No, 50%. He owned 50% of Sony. Do you know that Michael Jackson was basically making his own records, even though Sony was his record label, because all he was doing was putting his portion of the music on his percentage of Sony. So Sony was like, we can't have that. Because they made very little money off of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, man, that's it. But fucking dude. Like, Michael had his years though. They let him grow up and shit. But yeah, man, they pulled his card eventually. They said.
Oh, they had to kill him. I believe that Michael Jackson and Prince were assassinated.
I believe Tupac was assassinated.
Oh yeah, and Biggie Smalls. Anytime, do you know what Biggie and Tupac were talking about just before they got killed? They were both talking about starting their own record labels. Record labels that's making money off you, they're not going to let you do that.
That's interesting. That's interesting. And also, I don't know how for contemporary you are, but there's a couple rappers that probably got killed too. Like, there's one of them is, what's this damn name? The guy from California.
Oh, you're talking about Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, Nipsey Hussle, apparently he was working on this documentary, this age documentary, and then Juice WRLD, I think,
with Dr. Sebi. Yeah, he was working on with Dr. Sebi.
Exactly.
And they killed him the day before it came out.
Damn, shit like that. And then also the dude from Lincoln Park, Chester.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yep.
motherfucker apparently was working on some shit. Like, sometimes they'll get motherfuckers working on shit.
See, the thing about it is they let you make the money. And right before you get it, you got to go.
That, or right before you make too much noise. Or you, like, for example, like that Dr. Tahiti guy, if they would have, so it's like, oh, they can't make that noise. Like, for example, they don't let anybody come out with a water-powered engine. Anytime someone makes an engine that's water-powered, they die.
Oh, yo, did you hear? All right, remember Nipsey Hussle died? You know who died exactly 1 year later? Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi died. So they killed nobody lived to tell the story.
Epstein,
they killed Epstein. They are killing
McAfee,
everybody.
John McAfee. The list goes on and on and on that one. Which is kind of why it's almost nice to be not that high on the radar. But man, I'm sure there comes with its benefits to be that high on the radar. But I'm definitely like it's still just because we're not high on the radar. It's definitely to keep awareness is a thing to understand the bunch of different strings that are at play. Because it could mean something, it could be a coincidence, or it could all be some crazy thing. But it's definitely some shit going on.
You know what? When you get into that $140 million club, you really just sold your soul. You really asked to die. Now they give you because they give you a few years to spend it and enjoy yourself. But it seemed like shortly after you had that money for a while, see you.
Yeah.
Because think about it. Michael Jackson wasn't nowhere near through his money. Prince wasn't nowhere near through his money.
Michael Jackson had it a long time though. I think it's crazy. Whatever, like usually, what people like, some people don't get it at all. Like as soon as they get money, they die. Like,
no, you know what? Michael Jackson didn't have the money for. You got to remember, Michael Jackson.
He was like at least 50, 60 when he died. I think.
Yeah, but he didn't really come into his own until the late 80s. He started singing in like the late 50s,
I mean,
early
still
60s.
playing like a good couple decades of ultimate fame and fortune.
Well, he had the fame. He had the fame for a long time.
You don't think he had the fortune?
He had the fortune. No,
I don't know.
because
I feel like he might.
Do you know how many entertainers that have been doing it for a long time die broke? You ever watch
that's
the
interesting, but I feel like Michael Jackson was such an icon that he was like an outlier. Like he was so successful that it broke the preconceived level of success. Like he was the most famous person since Elvis, kind of deal.
Guess how he got rich? Michael Jackson would lie. Say, for instance, he went to Cairo, Egypt, right? He'd see the king or whoever, the prime minister of Cairo, Egypt. They'd ask him to do a show. He'd say, yeah, but I need an advance. He'd get the advance, and then he wouldn't go back and do the shows. So half of the money that he was making, he was stealing. He wouldn't have had to do that if he already had the fortune. It was do you know how many times he owed when he died? He owed a lot. That's why he was doing free tour. He was doing a free tour at the time of his death.
I'm not versed in his actual like that, but I figured he was rich, man. You would think, but you're right. Like MC Hammer, he fucking went broke.
Yeah, like they be dying broke.
Because they need to learn how to stay within their budget, man. Motherfuckers be buying like Everland ranches and fucking this and that. Motherfucker, you need to go buy a fucking plot of land in an apartment building.
Do you know if you had $10 million in the bank?
I would buy an apartment complex.
At a bank, you had $10 million. Do you know that when you go to draw, you might say, well, I need $500,000. Do you know what they say to you? You got to come in and tell us why. And they don't just release that money to you.
At what point does it get there? From how much do you have to pull out before it gets to that?
I'm not sure, but I know it's
what do you think it is, though? Do you think it's like 50,000, no problem, 100,000, no problem, or as soon as you get past like 5,000, it's an issue?
I think as soon as you get past maybe like 250,000, and let me tell you why. Do you know that out of all the money that's in the world, only 3% of it actually exists in paper? Did you know that?
Statistic. I don't know where. Like, I haven't done the research myself, but that sounds interesting as fuck. What would be the other forms of it? Digital or assets?
It's digital. It's digital. And if you go to the bank and you ask for physical paper money,
wow,
that's a
97% is digital.
97% is digital. That's
That
why.
that sounds like a crazy statistic, my friend.
And think about this. Do
Is that
you
real?
know why? Do you know why it's like that? Because the interest
it's hard to
is
scale.
created
There was too
in
many
thin
people.
air. The interest.
Because I was just talking about this. Let me tell you this. Did you know this? I just looked this up last night. When the Constitution of this country was founded in 1776, the population of the United States at that day, the day that it was founded, the population was, I believe, 22. It's either 2 million or I think it was like 2 million people. 2 million people on the entire continent of the United States. The day it was founded. Now we're sitting at 113 times more of that. So that's
we had
close
360 something million.
Yeah, so we went from 2 million when the rules were written. When all the main thing, like we're gonna have schools, we're gonna have churches, we're gonna have societies. When that shit was thought up, they thought of that with the population at that time. They didn't think of it with the population at scale. They thought of banking for 2 million people, not 200 million. So I think that the scale blew it out of proportion. It was not bad.
No, you know what blew it out of proportion? The banking system. For every $10 that you put into a bank can loan $100 based on your 10. So for every 100, it can loan 1,000, which means that the amount of physical paper money don't exist.
Right, so that means that debt is like there's no such thing as never paying your debt completely. It doesn't exist.
Never. You will never pay your
debt. So debt is part of it. You have to have debt to have this system, basically. It's a debt-based system.
There's not enough money to catch up.
So the idea of even saying paying the debt completely off is completely absurd and far-fetched.
This is why whenever they go to third world countries, the Federal Reserve, they loan them enormous amounts of money. Which means that once you get that money, you can't pay us back. Because even if you gave us the money back the next day, you still didn't give us our interest.
So it's a trap. It's like a bear trap.
It's a trap. Yeah.
So, but the only way that they could enforce that trap is they would have to have enough force to be killed to say, okay, now come collect on the debt. We'll come collect it.
Do you know? When
China can do it to small countries, but to do it to the United States, you're gonna have to come with a big army to get us off.
You could do it to the United States. Guess how you could do it to the United States?
With AI robots?
If the Federal Reserve loan money to America.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But if they ever you come collect on it, the population is too rowdy and free here, where they're gonna have to fucking kill us before we say, okay, you can take us over.
You know how many nations the Federal Reserve have in their pocket? They could get
but America is unique. We're the freest, most sovereign compared to Thailand or some random country in America. To say collect on us, we're gonna say nah. Just keep borrowing this money and just relax.
Well, if that's the case, you know what America should do? If that's the case,
I hope that's the case. I hope they can't muscle us out like that, because if they muscle us out of our freedom and lands, then fuck.
Because that's the next move. Because if America was that tough, you know what I think America would do?
You don't want to go to the projects, bro. Some of these giant projects in Chicago, or these random hoods in Baltimore, or wherever, these really horrible cities, where fucking cops can't even go down the street. You good luck getting in there, really, unless you bomb the whole city. Motherfuckers, you can't. You could send a SWAT team in there and they'll die. They got that shit. America has some pretty rough areas, man.
America is rough. Just think about this. Think about all of the Vietnam vets and all the veterans, period, that live in America. These are all men with guns and fighting strategies.
Exactly. And then just the crazy motherfuckers, just the crazy ones, just the ones who are wild free boys.
Because they don't mind. All these militias in America, Americans do not mind taking up arms for war.
Exactly. Because I'm not military trained, but I'm willing to fight for my shit.
Me too. Yo, listen, this is why America stay preaching gun control. They stay
100%,
preaching
100%.
gun because they're
trying to soften the blow. They're trying to nerf us as much as they can.
Because if they come to your house to take it over, they don't want you firing out the window with AKs and elephant guns and things of that nature.
Yeah,
they don't want you having that.
They don't want it because then even if they have it, even if they can't take the guns away, they want to control it. They want to know where every gun is and who has them. If they can't control it. But the thing about this is, with that being said, like I mentioned before, once you choose your path, then preparation and skill and study and all this that comes with it once, because making a decision is not the end of something. Like, I'm going to be stand up for myself and not let the government take me. No, when you say I declare something, that is merely the beginning of the current that's
because
going
if
to
you
take you into
declare war, the war hasn't even started yet.
Well, no, the fact that I declare, well, no, for example, like the fact that I declare, I acknowledge that, okay, one day they might try to pull that. They might come knocking at the door and then say, get in this bus here. And now what happens on that day? Well, if I acknowledge that that's a possibility, well, what would a guy like me do? Would he be able to defend himself? Would he be able to escape the clutches, or would he get thrown into the gas chamber bus and get rounded up? Well, then the preparation for that moment starts. And so I've already committed to my response to that knock. I know as soon as I hear that knock, what my response is going to be. It's not going to be no pretty, no hesitation, no conversation. No, it's going to be game on then. Boom. And then,
but you know what you got to do? You ever see them old Batman movies when they had like the little backpack that propelled and they was able to fly with those that we gotta make stuff like that. You know why?
Either. You just gotta become fucking ferocious, bro. Like learn how to become ferocious. Like no, don't like to be able to turn off the part of you that thinks that human life is sacred. You to turn complete like savage mode as soon as you like on a trigger, like boom, kill or be killed mental, and just be complete like the demon of the night, like slaying throats, like as soon as they come near you, and then just to get those guys and then escape off into the night. But that are a good.
You know what I think? I think that's
sand.
why they worship
pocket sand.
I think that's why they're Luciferians. I think that's why they worship
Why do you think
Satan.
Luciferian though? Why not? What do you not think it's just a great thing? Where do you draw this line of Lucifer? You think it's just
no? Let me tell you,
symbolism.
Because you have to be aligned with the evil nature of humanity.
I don't necessarily agree with that, boss. I respectfully disagree, and this is why. Because what if you are on the, like, let's say you're a person who's a sociopath and just a guy who wants something like that, but then you realize what the game is. Okay, there's some evil people doing some stuff, but I'm not necessarily evil, but I'm going to join the evil. Like, I'm not saying me, but let's say a person who's a sociopath says, I have a tough body, there's a sharp mind, I'm going to use what I was given to hop on this team that I see is dictating some stuff, but doesn't necessarily make them part of like a worshipman. But I guess it kind of does make them part of the team. But I don't think every single one of them is technically a Luciferianism. But you're probably right where they are still on that team though. But I think some people are just for hire. They don't really give a fuck. They just want their money, but then they'll play for the Luciferians, eh?
Think about this. Some of them men have wanted their money to the degree.
That's how I am. I would join a pretty dark team.
That they took airplanes and ran them randomly into the World Trade Centers, and they killed thousands of people. Thousands.
I'm a little bit sociopathic though, so I understand that. Like I could relate to like a little bit on why someone would just do those kind of things. Not that I've done them, or I would do them, but I'm saying I can understand because I have a bit of this neutralness in me, this natural gray, where it's like I don't really pick side, good or evil. I just want power. The power.
No, but you know what that means? That means that you have seen and heard enough to become.
I'm not talking about societal power though.
That's what I'm talking about. But you are desensitized.
I'm talking about my self power, like ability power, like human ability, a human ascension. That not like actual like power.
And if that's the case, businesses. You know what you got to do. Because, all right, think about this. In order to have power, you got to have three things. Number one, you got to have money. You got to have money. Then you got to have an army behind you.
Yeah, no, that's not the power I'm speaking of, though. That's a sort of power, but I'm talking about the power. So let's say there's a team that wants all this other kind of crazy stuff, money and power. The power, truly, my heart lies though in the power of the chance of this life. Because all the social society stuff and all the drama and all the factions, all the war, all this, that's all very fine and dandy and it's faction side, righteous, wrong. But at the end of the day, let's take a step back and let's dive in, not to be too egotistical, but let's look at the opportunity of each individual. It's going to sound a bit selfish and egotistical here, but try to bear with it as I express this, is the fact that this process put life in your lungs. Like, fine, like whatever role you want to play as far as roles inside, but there's also a part that's not societal, that is actually natural, like something that's primal. It's like you and the connection. I feel like that you need to get in with the Jones just so you could they don't kill you. But at the end of the day, every person I think it'd be smart to have their own personal deep path on what their bodies, their eyeballs, their senses, what all these things can truly mean, and explore them, and don't just don't get so distracted by societal stuff that they forget that they are actually walking miracle creature entities that are possibly limitless based on the mind understanding conceptual shit. And it's so that right there is, I'm willing to do a lot of shit just so I can continue that personal path.
Then you know what? Then if that's the case, practice magic. Listen, check this out.
I mean, you never asked if I did, but I dabble.
Okay, the reason why I say that is because you need a power that will connect you to a source that when most people don't have nothing, you have that source to connect with to get you the advantage.
I think I would say that I have done something in the lines of that. I don't want to say that, I've done it, but I'm not completely novice to that. I've been, you don't know my backstory, man, but I've put myself, especially within this last year and 2 years, very, very vocal on podcasts, like through the ups and downs of what I've been going through. And like, I abandoned all my material goods. I lived down the streets and then boom, boom, boom. And then like just in my mind, completely unscathed. Like all this could be like things, but I put myself in the depths of hell. And it's like, it's because I was connected to this thing that I was always there. And I never let go of this thing, luckily.
But you know what? Throughout the ages, men were connected to wanting power. Let me tell you why. I remember when I was young, Bruce Lee was like a superhero.
Of course.
And when I saw Bruce Lee being able to kick ass, I wanted to be able to do that. When I saw Superman be able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, and I always wanted some type of power. Then I started seeing cats like Merlin the Magician and so on and so. I wanted all of that. I wanted to be He-Man. I wanted to be able to put a sword up in the air and it gets struck by lightning and my arms just turned 46 inches. I wanted all that.
You wanted the natural power and the gifts and the courage and the mind. Right. But not.
Because think about
it. Did you get any of it? Did you actually explore any of it, or did you?
Well, put it this way. I got enough power to be doing all right in the human form.
Exactly. It's not like you didn't get all of it, but you didn't get nothing. I think that's the key. Is not to say, okay, we didn't turn into Superman, but we
everything. Yeah,
man, it's interesting, man. I love that shit, though. That's a beautiful metaphor, man. And I do like the metaphor that you use He-Man and the Superman, because one is just gifted a superhero can fly, but then some of the examples they got through hard work and training, like He-Man, for example, maybe these other superheroes that like Batman, for example, who was like very on Superman's level, but not because he just could fly around, no, because of systematic, methodical obsession. Exactly. So that's what I'm on. I'm on like, okay, given this chance, let's be like, how far can you take that to become super? But then what that takes is not excuses, not like it takes something. It takes a little bit to not do something and then something to add. Like you have to do some things right and then do not some things wrong. It's a combination of that to become
Put it this way, you have to be willing to do ultra good things as well as ultra bad things. And what I mean by that is one of the ways to acquire power. If people know that you ain't nothing to play with, wherever you are, then thus becoming nothing to play with. Not just they think you're nothing to play with. If you become nothing, yes. My point exact. So it's all kinds of ways to get power, but
exactly mental, physical, like, and then that's the beauty of it, because that's where I feel like all the news and distraction, I think that takes away from these other kind of concepts, which is where can we be gaining powers, and what forms, and what varieties, and what levels are there, and so that's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful topic, brother.
And then, thank you, and that's why people they join forces like evil forces, because you can go to church and do the spiritual aspect, but it doesn't give. As a matter of fact, church in and of itself, it doesn't empower you. First and foremost, if you're a Christian, you've been told all your life that you're a dirty, filthy rag in the presence of God. You don't want to hear that.
The Catholics especially.
Exactly. You want to hear somebody empower you, embolden you, and say that you can do all things.
Right, and then actually have a method to it. Not just say, oh, you could do it and then not leave you there at the door. No, like, especially like someone like Tony Robbins, like someone for like Tony Robbins, for example, someone who can truly sit there and not only tell you could do anything, but then sit there and walk you
and
through
show you how. Yes.
Walk you there and then show you how, and then boom, exactly. I fucking found love. Like I've looked into, to be share a little personal more, is I've looked into hypnosis and all these kind of things and all these concepts of this imagery, all these kinds of ideas of how it affects the placebo effects and all these concepts that are truly, truly fascinating, because that is truly just a mental game. Because now if that you take that and you add it to the physical game, hey, Hanny J, then it's something crazy. But it's like some people could do fine with the one or the other, but I'm trying to attain both. I have the mental understanding and the physical intake. And one way to do that, my last little note is to one of the things that makes the physical ascension is to get out of discomfort. Like start being uncomfortable. Stop chasing comfort as a desire.
But you know what?
In uncomfort, because when you're comfortable, you're weakening. And it's like
we eat too much. You
can keep yourself, huh?
As human beings, we eat so much.
And we eat way so much, and we don't get enough activity.
We don't, because we
socks and shoes on. Sorry to interrupt, but go ahead.
We eat, sit down, watch TV. We're so comfortable. We're so relaxed.
You must even wear shoes, brother. Shoes are for like whoever. That's like some money grab right there. We completely nerfed humans. I don't even wear socks ever. I don't wear socks at all. No matter what I do, if I go walking for a long time, biking around, like because it weakens your feet. And then I try to walk around without shoes, because a man who has soft feet versus a man who has hardened feet, when they get on the terrain where their shoes are, let's say you escape the shoes, the guy that's trained on that is going to be able to run circles around the guy who's not used to it.
Yeah, that's why a lot of martial artists, they did push-ups on their knuckles, because somebody
can train hard
who can train hard on their knuckles like that. Can you imagine how they would punch next to a man that just moisturizes his hands all day?
Exactly, and it takes every man to acknowledge that, because most people, it's like, oh, I want to have the things like, but what is it? Okay, then you're trading that. You're trading this possible power for a commodity. And now, fine, every man is to do whatever he wants, but acknowledge what we're fucking doing here.
Exactly. Because you're taking away from your power. Can you imagine?
You can push that as far as you want, too. You don't even have to fit in with people. You could go crazy and just be a wildebeest of a human if you truly want to.
Exactly. You know who did it? Men like Mike Tyson. Men like
David Goggins.
What's the dude that died? The black dude that died? Kimbo Slice. Like,
yeah, you heard of David Goggins?
Yes, they're men that done that. Silva. What's Silva's first name? The MMA
Anderson
fighter.
Silva.
Yeah, Anderson Silva. These cats have. When you stand them next to the average man, they are like beasts.
Brother, and then you want to know the funny thing is, if you go right now, what you just said, those guys, Kimbo Slice, Anderson Silva, you go stand them up in this tribe in Africa. There's this tribe, one of the very rare tribes still on earth today that still fucking hunts baboons and eats baboons by hand. This specific tribe, I don't recall the name at the moment, but this tribe, they are the little kids in that group, like the children are cut as Anderson Silva did, let alone the men. They would even fuck up Anderson Silva and them. The kids are as cut and strong as Anderson Silva and stuff. The kids of this tribe. The men are even like more than that. This specific tribe, they run at high speeds for hours nonstop, barefoot through very, very rigid terrain that would slice people's legs off in America.
But guess what they don't do? They don't eat all the time like we do. See, you got to remember.
Well, no, I mean, they do eat pretty consistently because they're so good at hunting.
But they don't eat the things that kill them.
Eat meat. They eat baboons and brains and livers. They get the most nutritious food.
Exactly, because they eat straight protein. By the time
and they're getting pure activity, and they're not being weakened by the shoes and all this and that. And it's crazy. Their feet get padded. Their feet actually grow a layer of pad under it, like a shoe.
Yeah, glass won't even penetrate it. Do you know?
Exactly,
listen,
which just makes you know, like, how far have we weakened ourselves in theory? If that's the case, like, can you imagine if they put, like, that means that the human body would go adapt to anything you put it to. So it's up to you to put it to whatever your desire is, with no excuses.
Do you know how powerful the human body is? Think of all the
just basically just said that they can kill baboons and run in the forest. I think I do have a bit of an understanding.
if you think about all the terrain on Earth, all the regions on Earth, you got mountain regions, you got lower regions, you got valleys, you got
you got lake people
exist in all of them with all different type of extreme weathers and all from 150 degrees Fahrenheit to 17 below Celsius in Alaska.
Exactly.
And no matter where you put people, they adapt to that.
So exactly, and we're not going to reinvent the wheel in one day, but whenever I did realize this concept of you can put your body in the most extreme conditions and it will adapt, it reminded that it's just this notion of push yourself a little more. Like I'm not running out there killing baboons. Obviously, I'm not on that, but I know it exists, and so what that reminds me is to go to not completely let it go. So I'm not perfect. I'm not fucking sitting there doing 20,000 push-ups on my knuckles. Like I know I definitely could be. I've did let myself down a bit on that because I haven't pushed it to unlimited level, but I do push it. It's not that since I do know that it's a thing, it doesn't let me not do anything. I do some shit that's pushing myself at least, versus if I never would acknowledge that and just think that life is something that is put on me and I have no role in its decision and I'm a victim. No, I realize it's up to me to push myself, and then the body will listen. And so it's like ever since then I do some things to strengthen myself, but I'm not perfect.
Did you see those Africans? It was like about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and they were having people shooting them, and they were shooting themselves. They would bleed, but it looked like it never affected them. Did you see that? It was on YouTube.
No, I didn't see that, but I could believe it, brother. It's crazy, man. That's why I stay getting I like getting a little roughed up every once in a while. I don't want to get too soft.
It's scary, some of the things that the human body can do.
Well, I mean, it's scary, but it's actually kind of beautiful because it lets you, and it gives you almost limitless possibilities, man. I sliced my hand open this last New Year's on New Year's evening, right after the fireworks, after midnight, and everyone counted down, blue, blue, blue. Right after that moment, I walked away from that, and bam, I tried to jump over this fence to try to get into this one house so I could sleep in there. I was going to try to get in there for the night because I was on the streets at that time in LA. And bam, when I jumped over this fence, I had backpacks and all this crazy stuff on me and my hands all full of bags, and I should have set the shit down and then jumped over the fence, but I was like, no, I'm just going to carry everything and then jump the fence. This big iron fence with carrying everything, and I fucked up, and next thing you know, my hand got pierced as I fell off the fence, and my hand got caught on the way down, and my whole fucking hand just got completely fucking impaled. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, you done fucked up. I was like, you fucked up. It's fun and games until you do something like that, where it's like you just fucked your shit up, kid. It's like it's all fun and games until you fucking lose an arm or a leg or something. It's like, wow, I can't believe you. I was like, damn. And then so boom, I look at my hand, it's just bleeding. I thought I really fucking. I was like, I think I'm gonna have to go to the hospital. I think you just now you can't be free, Mr. Free Fun running around no more. You done officially fucked up, kid. I was like, good job. But then all of a sudden, the blood, I tourniqueted the shit out of my arm really tight. I wrapped it, I cut circulation as good as I could. But then I looked at my hand, and the blood went from pouring out of my hand to webbing. The blood became very spider web consistently, looked like a Spider-Man web, and it just started they became the most stickiest substance you could imagine, gooey. The substance that went from watery to straight fucking some rubber or something, and it wasn't pouring out. It instantly turned into this next level of healing, and I was like, and what it reminded me, just to finish this off, is that if you never get an extreme, like a gunshot or a slice or a bone, like a fucking revealing bone, your body, of course, it's not going to engage that process within its possibilities to do that, because why would it just engage? It wouldn't need to activate, level 5 healing if you only get level 1 injuries. And when I got that level 5 injury, and at first I was like, oh shit, this is fucked up. My body showed a sign of healing in which I was not even familiar with, because I'm used to healing fast, but this was a healing process that was novel. It was the first time that it was that, and I felt it healing like a level higher than normal, and I was thinking, whoa, I shouldn't even worried. My body just instantly just turned up the healing instead of me just thinking out. So it was really, really powerful experience. And I didn't even go to the hospital, and I have a gnarly ass scar. And people told me, people were begging me to go to the hospital, you're going to get infected, you're going to get foot. But like I said, I was going through a rough time and everything, and I ended just healing up myself without seeking medical attention. But my bone was sticking out of my hand and everything. And that was this New Year's. And my hand's fine. Like I still have use of all my fingers and everything, but it was, if it would have got infected, I probably would have been fucked.
Wow.
Thank you for listening, brother.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That was a real life story, brother. And it's that I put myself in these crazy situations, and I'll tell you, the body, dude, the homeless experience I did, dude, fucking taught me. My body is the fucking resilient, bro. I was wet for 2 weeks straight without dry clothes on. I was wet. I had wet clothes on for 2 weeks in a row. Cold, wet, cold, and then didn't even get cold. Didn't even get a cold. Was just living in dirt, bro. Eating fucking out the trash every night, bro. Eating fucking out of the garbage, bro. Random people's foods. Like fucking.
Nobody ever fed you or nothing?
Nope, didn't affect me whatsoever. But because I was hyper healing, I don't know. I can't really explain it. But it didn't really fuck with me, and I'm glad. But I kept a very optimistic mind and didn't lose hope and all this. And I think there's a mind-body connection there. Well, we're about to be running out of time here, but I do want to thank you for joining Rico Rocks today. That's me, and my show is Social Suicide here on Podbean. It's called Social Suicide, and thank you very much for being a part of it. Muupk, we were first talking. What a magical one, and so thank you. And the show's about to end. And anything you want to say on the way out?
Nah, not really, but it was cool being on your show, yo. You be good.
Thank you. Likewise, brother. You talk very well, man. You didn't say or you know at all, which I really respect. I don't know if you noticed that. I didn't either say or you know behind my sentences, but I noticed you did not either, which I really can respect that, man. I really do respect the level of control you have over your speech. Because I purposefully don't say or you know at all. I cut it out, and I always notice when someone else does. So I appreciate you're very, very enjoyable to talk to, and may our paths cross again. Everybody, this is Rico Rocks, host of Social Suicide. This has been episode 52, and shout out Hustler, Handy J, Free Your Mind, Muupk, everybody, rock and roll, Rico Rocks here on Podbean. Follow my SoundCloud, Rico Rocks SoundCloud, YouTube, Rico Rocks ROXX. So it's Rico Rocks. Free your mind, free your mind, free your mind, free your mind.